Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo Guida, and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Today we are continuing our series of episodes dedicated to my compatriots, if you will, the Neapolitan masters of fountain pens, as I like to put it. And today we'll be reviewing a pen by the company named Leonardo Officina Italiano. Leonardo Officina Italiano, well, what is a brief history, if you will? Ciro Matrone, who, as you may know, was one of the founders of Delta Fountain Pen Company. In 2017, when Delta decided to shut down operations, set up this new company, Leonardo Officina Italiana. And he and his son, and eventually his daughter, so it was a family affair, started a new venture. And since then, to about 2018, Leonardo Officina has completely taken off. I mean, there are dozens at this point, dozens of collections, pens of different sizes, different materials, different colors, different dedications. Just fabulous, fabulous fountain pens, different sizes, different shapes. And basically, he left off, he started where he left off at Delta. And I think the future augurs well for Salvatore Matrone, who is the son of Ciro. And I sense that young vision of he and his sister, with his father's 45 years of experience, is just a perfect combination. So let's look at a particular pen, and the pen has some again, even additional significance for me, and I'll explain to you why. The pen is a Momento Zero from the Momento Zero collection, and it's Sorrento Blue. Now, the special connection for me is that I was born in Sorrento, and Sorrento, as you may know, is just a beautiful coastal town south of Naples, one of the major destinations that you encounter as you wind down the Amalfi Coast. Just a gorgeous city. I think you saw in my intro just a few clips of that beautiful coast. It's a gorgeous town. It has great restaurants, and is just a place that you cannot miss. It's the first one, and as you wind down the Amalfi Coast, you cannot miss Sorrento. So let's get into the pen, and let me just cut to my overhead shot. Here we go. Just a very, very quick unboxing. It's the Momento Zero collection, the box that it came in. Here it is. As usual, the booklets giving a little bit of background on the pen. I bought this one at Casa della Stilografica in Firenze, and I bought this in the 17th of May, 2020. So that's my, international lifetime warranty, I believe it is. And the Leonardo Officina Sorrento is this. Here's the pen. It's a numbered edition, and we'll get to that in just a few seconds. So that's the unboxing. Now let's take a look at the pen. Just bear with me, and we're just going to try to get it. There we go. We're focused. You could see that on the barrel there's the Leonardo Officina Italiana brand name, and the number, I believe, is 144. Now, this is some of the later Momento Zeros. The earlier editions only had 2 rings here. This one has 3. And I can tell you that there's a Delta influence right from the start. Apart from the gorgeous resin, you can tell the clip, it's got that rounded mechanism so that it slips into your lapel or shirt pocket much easier. It's also got the finial, which you could remove so you can get to your the converter inside, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So you can definitely see that there is a Delta influence there. It's a gorgeous blue, And I can tell you that the sea near Sorrento, they have a few swimming where you can swim. They don't have beaches per se, but they have like these platforms on stilts, if you will, because all of the sand is basically gone over the years. And when you dip into that water, this is the blue that you see. It's a dark Mediterranean blue. It's not a turquoise that you normally would see, for example, in Sardinia, if you will, or in some places in Calabria or even in Sicily. It's a darker blue. Now, this is a silver rhodium trim. Okay, let's open it up. It exposes a nib, and the nib here is from the second editions or even the third edition, so it's a Joo nib. I know the original editions had a Bok nib. This one is a Joo nib, and as you know by now, I am a stub favorite, so this one's a 1.1 steel nib, not gold. It has a nice size to it. It's not too big, it's not too small. I would say just ideal for me anyway. It's got a good size. Does it post? Yes, it does. It posts very, very, very comfortably. It does not weight the pen. In fact, it gives it this completely different feel, but a very nice feel, if you will. So that's the posting of the pen. As far as, let me just remove that. As far as the inside mechanism is concerned, again, you're going to see the Delta influence. First of all, the international converter, it definitely has the Leonardo Officina logo stamped on it, and it's a screw-in mechanism. I'm not going to remove it, otherwise all my ink will spill. But it's a screw-in mechanism. It's just not a push, so that it doesn't slip out. Okay, so that's the, whoops, I inked myself a little bit, I guess. There's some remnants of the ink when I inked it. And yes, you can either remove the cap, or the whole barrel, I should say, or you can just remove the cap finial, the top finial, and go into the mechanism that way. Okay, so that's, again, in my opinion, that's the Delta influence. Very nice. Nice color, nice size, gorgeous nib. So that's my beautiful Sorrento. Okay, so I think what we'll do next is just give me a few seconds. We'll be right back with a size comparison. Okay, let me just, I've gathered here a few pens for you so that you could appreciate part of my collection, and at the same time also give you some size comparisons. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, here's my Sorrento, and I would say that in this collection, or in this particular sampling, it's the smallest one, but that's because I've put it up against some very, very huge pens. This is my Edison Collier Orange Swirl, which is just a gorgeous pen. I mean, the materials are nice, but the nibs that come out of that pen company are just exquisite. This is my Rainbow Stipula Etruria, which is, again, just a fascinating Italian pen, and we'll get to it eventually in my... I also compared it to one of my Mont Blancs. You'll see that it's probably the same size when we speak of the Mont Blanc. Okay, and this is an Easterbrook. The Easterbrook is quite huge. I've also put it up against, look at this Jinao Chinese pen. Just gorgeous. I mean, I think I paid this like $15, you know. But we'll have a chance to look at some of the Chinese pens. They surprise me. And this is a Conklin All-American. A very nice pen. I enjoy this one because of the girth of this pen. And I have it in several colors, if you will. This is in blue. I have it in browns. I have it in greens. I have it in the transparent resin. So that gives you an idea of the size comparison. So what I propose next is that we look at the writing sample. Now, first of all, In terms of the ink that we'll be using today, it's the Leonardo Officina Italiana, of course, and it's the color blue to match the pen. Very nice bottles, by the way, good size, glass. They're also very pretty to leave on your desk, if you will. And I know now that Leonardo is also selling all kinds of accessories that you can put on your desk. And I invite you to visit their website. The website has evolved, I can tell you, from the very beginning, where I think they had none, to now. It gives you a little bit of family history, etc. I invite you all to visit Leonardo Officina Momento Zero website, and you'll see the history of that pen company. Now, in terms of the ink itself, that's blue, and if you will, just give me a few seconds, and we'll be right back with my journal. The journal I have here is where the ink, and I believe I don't have. Do I have the? Let me just check if I have the Momento Zero here in this collection. I don't believe I have it in this. Here we go. So the Leonardo Officina Blue 2022 is when I purchased it. There you go. So you could see it's very similar to the pen. It's got some of that red highlights. And if you look closely at the pen itself, you'll see that it does have some reddish, pinkish resin there. So it matches, I would say, perfectly with the ink. So just give me a few seconds and we'll be right back with the writing sample. Okay, so we're back. I went to get one of at the same time as I do these writing samples, not only is it an occasion for me to show you some of the inks that I have in my collection, and so we'll throughout all of this, obviously we will use different inks. I won't ink up the same ink very often, so that you can appreciate. I show you my ink journal as well, and show you the inks that I'm using. At the same time, I also like to use different journals, and this particular journal you'll see is it's a Tomo River pad, if you will. So very nice. It has the quality paper. And it's a pad, so you could remove the pages. So I think it's an absolutely gorgeous piece of equipment, if you will. Okay, so let's do the writing sample. Let me see if I could focus a little bit more. Here we go. No, that's as far as it gets. Okay, so what do we have in terms of the pen? It's the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero and it's the Sorrento Blue. As far as the nib is concerned, it's a 1.1 stub steel. Okay. And this nib, I mean, it comes out of the factory and it's perfect. I mean, I can tell you that with this ink, it's just smooth as butter. Does it have a little spring in it? Not really. It's a fairly stiff nib, but you can see the line variation on the stub makes it all that much more enjoyable, I would say, and it just glides. It glides, and so the pen is resin blue with highlights of pink resin. just to write a few words just to show you how the pen performs. I think it's just in terms of rating, how would I rate this pen? You know, in my latest reviews, I have not said very many negative things about the pens that I've reviewed, and it's not the pen's fault. The pens are just gorgeous. I mean, there's not much I can tell you about negative about this pen. You know, in terms of rating it, I've got to give it a 9.2, I would say. You know, in terms of the nib has been just fine-tuned. I think it's been finely tuned. So the nib, I would give it a 9.4 because of its smoothness. There's just no, there's really not even a little bit of, you know, a little bit of scratchiness, nothing. It's just completely smooth for a 1.1, just gorgeous. In terms of the price, I remember having paid this under, so $200 less Canadian at the time. I would say, and I forget the exact number, which is great value for what you're getting. Okay, so you know, at the end of the day, that's my rating, and I really cannot say that there's anything that I don't enjoy about this pen. So that wraps it up for me today for my beautiful Sorrento. This is where I was born. Oops, let me just make sure it focuses. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Enjoy it. I hope you buy it. Visit Leonardo Officina Italiana, the website. You'll see all kinds of fabulous colors, resins, and sizes of all sort. Choose your pen. Enjoy it. And I'll see you at the next episode. Thank you.